So at Genomics England, we know that we haven't particularly got underrepresentation in our rare disease cohorts. I mean, possibly that's because if you have a child with a rare disease, you have a child with a rare disease, and it's very likely that you're going to be enrolled in order to find out a diagnosis. But there is an underrepresentation in cancer, and it's particularly noticeable amongst African and Caribbean communities.
Yeah. We were talking earlier around that, and do you want to kind of, because I was really interested in what you had to say around maybe some of the reasons behind that underrepresentation?
So the causes, what are the causes? And I hope, by the way, I hate talking at people, so please feel free to interrupt at any point. But as far as underrepresentation goes, I think there are a number of reasons. I think there's an element of unconscious bias. I think there are people who think that it's going to be more difficult to recruit people of colour to trials, whether that's simply because they need translation services or because they have pre-existing stereotypes. I think that on the other side, particularly Black and Afro-caribbean communities, there are all sorts of concerns about, will the police have access to this information? Will the border agencies have access? Will the Inland Revenue have access? That was a new one on me, Inland Revenue having access to your genome information. Make of that what you may. But also things like, and it's quite understandable, I mean, if your ethnic group is overrepresented in the police national DNA database, and there's a history of experimentation, things like Tuskegee, all those things about syphilis, of course you are going to be concerned. So there are a lot more concerns about use of data. There are also concerns about whether genomic information is going to be used to disadvantage groups even more, perhaps somehow. I mean, we had a conversation with people who were affected by, not thalassemia, it's gone out of my mind. Help me someone. Sickle cell, thank you so much. Give that woman a prize. So sickle cell, we had a conversation with people with sickle cell, and they thought that we would be using genomic information not to help that community, but to screen out further populations of that community. So that so we were told by them that medicine was not interested in helping that community with their current problems. They were much more interested in using genomics to screen out that population. So